How are you? Welcome to Weekly Wednesday Business Tips. My name is Renee DiVincenzo. I am an administrative strategist, and my business is MDR Administrating Services. And I'm just so excited that you are here with me today as we are actually in the middle of January already into the new year. There are just so many different things that we think about that it is that we want to do, especially when it comes to organizing our back office. And when you think about the secrets to staying on track, really when you think about that, that really has to just to understand the basics. Sometimes you just need to find the right strategy for you and how you work in your business to be organized. And always remember too that a lot of times that when we feel that we are unorganized, it's really basically not that we're unorganized, it's just due to the fact that it's how we're scheduling our time. And I'm hoping today with the information I'm going to share with you are going to help you a little bit to understand the strategies needed for you to get to where it is that you want, especially when it comes to running your back office, because your back office is so important when it comes to your business, because that is where your money maker is, and that's where your productive is, because that's where you're going to be keeping in track with your clients and how to stay in touch with them so they always stay loyal to you. So an area I want to talk to you about is the benefits of being organized. And being organized is you think better, you're clearer, things come to you a little bit easier. And this is where we can be a little bit overwhelmed when things are just not into place. So when you're thinking about organizing your workspace, one thing I want to say before I go into this topic, when I lived in New York, when it came to winter, I had to move my desk around. I had to put it next to, we had a home, it was electric heat. I had to put it right next to the heater to stay warm. I faced it towards my fish tank. It was just very relaxing for me to do work. As spring came, I changed my office around, and that is just due to the fact I wanted to look out the window. I wanted to smell that spring air coming in and seeing the birds in the trees and seeing the leaves pop out. It just put me in a good place because I was feeling motivated to work. One of the areas when it comes to your workspace, if you're finding you're not productive and you're just not wanting to walk into your office, that's the part where you might want to think about kind of shifting a little bit and maybe rearranging where you're comfortable to want to work in there. So one of the areas we want to talk about when it comes to your workspace is your desk. So let's start with that. When you're looking at your desk, is it working for you? Are you finding that what you have is organized? Or are you finding your desk is the issue of why you are not able to be productive? Sometimes we do have a lot of stuff on our desk just because we feel like we have to. A lot of areas that's helpful on the desk is if you do have stacks, they're called the rack stacks. If you have one for outgoing mail, you have one for mail that maybe you have to check, or maybe it's the paper to the computer. You might want to organize yourself in a little bit of that in the desk area, but always remember you want to keep very close to you what you need. So you're not always jumping up and down, trying to get what it is that you want, or if you can't find it, where did you put it? Another area that you may think about when it comes to working in your office, when it comes to a workspace, is having an action area. Now, an action area, if your office is big enough or wherever you happen to have a location of your office, is a table. And that is where you're putting your projects. It could be the project that you're working for the day. And you're having everything laid out and it is right there. I remember when I was in direct sales, I had an action table. And it was coming to the holiday times. I was wrapping my gifts. I was making, cute little hands in a glove, with hand cream and a glove and cute little bows and candy canes. And I had everything sectioned. So it was easier for me to put together what I know where I left off the day before. So if you're not in direct sales, or maybe it's putting pamphlets together for a workshop you could be doing or a presentation, again, you just may want to be laying everything out on that table. So by having an action table when it comes to your work, it will help you to be more productive in that day, and you'll be able to finish what your projects are. It also too is it's a quick way to, as I shared about how to get things quickly, but also it avoids distraction. And one of the areas that we are not focused on is when we are trying to figure out everything. So think about an action table, if that could be something that can work for you. When you want to talk about organizing your time, I can't stress how important it is that good organizational habits are very crucial when it comes to having a successful time management plan. And the reason why is that when you are putting everything together of what it is that you need to do, you are finding that you're able to have enough time in the day to get your projects done. So first area that you may want to think about is before you start your day, give yourself 15 minutes to get organized. Recap what you have to do. Maybe the night before you gave yourself a to-do list or a book, a logbook, and putting everything that you have to do. And then, maybe get your cup of coffee, whatever that case may be, whatever time of the day it is. And you can then start getting yourself together. But one thing I want to talk about to-do list, if you find that the word to-do list handicaps you a little bit, because you're just looking at it as it's another thing I have to do, you might want to call it a prioritized list. What you need to do in that specific day to get the job done, for not to fall behind. Again, this is all a mind over matter. It's funny when you think like what you think about, what really motivates you, what are the words you like to use when it comes to getting yourself organized. So you may want to change that to priorities on top of your page. This way too, before I go into the next topic, it also helps to shape your day. You kind of feel better about what it is that you're going to do. And you know what? It doesn't look a lot. Like when you're picking out those top 3 that you want to do in the day and you get them done, and if you still have time, you can add more to your list. Other areas too that you want to organize is your communication. Now, communication is very, very important. And I don't only mean by speaking with people in what you want to talk about in business, but it's also your communication in your office of what it is that you're needing to do. It's keeping things organized. Maybe it's your notes. Maybe it's having great ideas that you want to put together and organize. And the way you would do that is just keep it in a neat area. If you have a section on your desk, and these are just the brainstorming section, whatever it is you want to call it, and you want to go back to that, you can also do that. Too, it's also good to have a tickler file or folder, as they say, on the desk, and what you have to do for this month, and maybe you want to get ready for next month, especially if you're having events. There's an organization that I work with called Remembering Heroes, and once a year we have a festival. It's actually going to be, if you are in Palm Coast, it's going to be at the town center last weekend in September. And there are things that we have to do monthly to keep ourselves on track. So being organized with folders can help you to what it is that you have to get ready for the prior months. Sometimes with these types of folders, you may want to do a quarterly folder where you have 3 months in advance, and then you could just kind of put into the folders what it is that you need to take care of instead of filing it away in your desk. Also, too, when you keep everything organized in one area, especially if, I hate to use the word when crisis happens, but sometimes things just like, oh my gosh, you got to take care of right away. When you have all those important notes in a place that you can find immediately, it helps you to quickly respond to a situation that needs to be taken care of. And I remember when I worked as an admin, there were times where meetings came about, something had happened, and it was my job to make sure that I had all that information in place when there were some mishaps or miscommunication on something that needed to be done. So you might want to put in your office a section where you have all of that together. It's also two areas that you want to think about are tools, organizational tools. Now, there's a lot out there, and depending on what you need for yourself will help you to use certain apps. So I'm going to talk to you right now about traditional apps. Now, I wouldn't even say traditional apps, they're traditional tools. These are areas that where you have hands-on. It could be a wall calendar, could be a calendar desk. Also, as I shared with you before, it could be a logbook or what's called a paper diary, however you want to call that. A lot of times we use apps on the computer to keep ourselves organized, but areas where if you need to be with paper in hand, a spiral notebook, any type of a book where you're putting the date down and you're writing that information of what needs to be done. I will share with you too, if you work in an office, especially if you have shifts, someone's working the morning shift and then there's an afternoon shift and they're in that same location doing the same job. It's really a good idea to have a logbook of what that person did prior to the other person coming in. This way you avoid any duplicates of what the work that is needed to be done. So that may be an area you might want to keep in mind for yourself. Another traditional, as they saw, tools with paper are sticky notes. How many of us use sticky notes, right? Especially when they fall off and you find them underneath your desk. Sticky notes are those quick reminders of what you have to do in the day. It could be if something needs to be changed and you only found out during the day before and the workday was over, that goes right on the computer. Got to take care of this ASAP. So you might want to use maybe even colored sticky notes for more of an eye catcher instead of the same yellow. Areas of technology. Now, as I was sharing with you in the organizational tools, when we go into technology, it's you have to use the systems for communication online that best works for you. There's a lot out there that you could use, and it's not a one size fits all because everybody has a different type of a business. And areas that you may want to look into when it comes to tools, it could be options of how to label and file your tool system. Like you could have automatic, or you could have the hand. I will always say too, when you use a label maker, it is so much easier to read on your files than someone just quickly scribbling. But I will tell you too, instead of using the 3 tab, if you use the 1 tab, you could put more information on it, especially when your label maker is long. And depending what kind of business you have, be it a service business or if it's a client-based business, it's always important to start with the last name first and then add the first name, because first names are very common, last names usually aren't. And I could go into a whole different topic, and maybe that's something I'll talk about next week, about when it comes to organizing your filing system, your filing cabinets, and the areas that you can work with in there. Your cell phone too has a lot of apps, as you know. We have the calendar apps, there are game apps, there's just so many apps that we could use with the phone. But when you're looking at organizational and it's something on your phone, I'm going to first start with the calendar. We all use our calendar on our phone. The calendar on my phone is my main base where I put all that information down. Doctor's appointment, meeting with clients, whatever that may be. When I come back to my office, I like paper. So I have a desk calendar, and I put all that information in there when I want to a second time look at my calendar. And let me tell you, looking at your calendar is very important to do, because you can miss appointments without realizing it, especially when you don't have your notifications on. Other organizational tools that you could be thinking of when it comes to technology is maybe you are a person that happens to like working on the computer when it comes to doing your tasks, doing your projects. Some areas of tools that you could use could be Evernote. Evernote's a great tool. I happen to like Evernote. I have it on my phone because I love the scratch pad. The scratch pad is where I get the new ideas. I go right into Evernote and I'm right away putting it on there. Or if I happen to be on my phone and sometimes we sit on our phone if we're killing some time, if, we're doing some personal things and I'm coming across some links, open up that Evernote and bam, it's right in there. Because when I come back to my office and I'm opening up the Evernote, it's right there. I don't have to go looking through everything on there. Also, there's Asana and Trello, and these apps are great if you have a team. And when you are working with other people on your team, it's great for them to have a one area where everybody could go in and take a look at each other's notes. You, as the business owner, can look to see what your team is doing. Did they even contact the clients that they need to do? So that could be area of work apps that may work for your type of business. Another part is the calendar. I always use Calendly, and I will tell you that it's very hard at times to make schedules with people. It's like, oh, I'll call you, or you're texting. If you meet someone, especially if it's at a networking event or any place that you happen to go, get their number, send them a text, and send them your calendar link. Let them schedule time that works for them. But always make sure that when you're using a calendar link like this, that it's syncing with your calendar that you could be using on your phone. Because what happens is that when you already have time booked, that time will not be available in your calendar link for people to make appointments with. So that's, a good way about that. So, the whole area about this are the key points. And the key points when you have an organizational system together, and again, it's the secrets, but the secrets are just basic of what I just shared with you today. It's to have greater productivity, better performance, improve the ability to handle stress, and be more effective with your communication when it comes to either speaking with your staff, your clients, or even the communication in your office, so you are able to understand what it is that you need to do. So some of the things here that I shared with you today is actually what I do as an administrative strategist. I help put these systems together for solo entrepreneurs, small businesses, so you can have better productivity in your office and you can be more efficient in getting what it is that you need to do for yourself. So I wanted to hop on and just talk about that a little bit. If you are finding that you want to have a little one-on-one, if you want to get some ideas or maybe some advice and guidance, or even maybe have a strategy session with me, which is a 4-week program that I offer, you can scan the barcode that you are seeing now in Instagram. You are not going to see that. I will have a link for you, to do that. Again, that's with my calendar. And you can pick at a time what's great for you, and we can have a little coffee chat connection, get to know each other a little bit, and love to give you some advice and some guidance. And I also just want to remind you all that on February 27th is going to be my Master Your Daily Schedule Bootcamp. A lot of what I'm sharing with you on these weekly lives are what I'm going to be sharing within the bootcamp. The bootcamp, if you want to join the wait list, again, on Instagram, I will have that link for you. You can scan the barcode. You can join the wait list. Enrollment opens February 6th. It's $47, the boot camp. It's valued at $97, but you can hop on for $47, and for 4 days, for about a half an hour, hour and a half, you'll be able to get some better understanding about how to untangle your mind, what's a priority, how to put a blueprint together, and the reason why we need to schedule ourselves daily. So I just want to thank you today for joining me. If you would like to get notifications about my weekly lives and what I am doing, or you want to be part of my mailing list, please just DM me, send me your email. I'll include you. You'll get emails to everything that I am doing. And also, if you want to be part of my private Facebook group, which is Simplify Your Business Just check it out, join it, and I'd love to have you on board. So I just wanted to thank you for being on. I hope you all make it a great day. Remember, smile, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And just a little quick FYI, this Friday, I will be in my private group. I will be having, well, actually, it's going to be all over. I'm going to be doing a showcase your biz for this month. It's going to be Skip Weissman. He is a motivational speaker, and he is going to come on and talk to us as solo entrepreneurs and the key points to helping us to have better communication. So I hope you guys make it a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.